hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Gobshite podcast. This is my friend Trevor Watson.
Hello.
We speak quite a lot about some anecdotes of us growing up and about school. I met Trevor in school, but he got me my first job at Scottscape, my first landscaping firm I worked at, and talk about his bike frame building company, Autumn Frameworks.
Trying to build.
How was it all for you?
Yeah, it was good, man. It was weird, like not what I expected it to be, but yeah, it was cool, man. Yeah, really good.
Just a good little conversation. So, hope you guys enjoy it, and don't forget to check out Trevor's bike frame building company, Autumn Frameworks. Search them online, you will find them. All right,
cool.
Enjoy, guys. Cool. Right, we're live. So this is Trevor Watson. This is what's the word? Improper? No,
Improvised,
I suppose. That's the better word than that. It's, whatever. The semantics are bullshit, but Trevor's coming for a cup of tea and a catch up, and I figured I'll push the record button and do it on the podcast instead. So, Trevor, man, what's going on with your life?
Oh my god, it's been pretty chaotic. I haven't seen you for a little while, I guess, or I saw you at Max's stag do, but before then, it's been a little while.
I think Max's birthday's one before that as well.
Holy shit, yeah, it probably would have been, yeah. No, busy, man. Just doing my own thing, working lots, and trying to sort my life out, I suppose. The dawning prospect of turning 30's definitely been weighing on me a little bit. So
the thing is, more recently you started your own firm building bike frames. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I think maybe most people that will be listening to this will know that, you know, a couple of years back I was working for Rockstar for a little while, and that kind of all came to a head, and I got made redundant and didn't really know what to do with myself, and the bike trade seemed like, you know, the right thing to do, and I'd grown up riding BMX and always had an interest in cycling, and walked into my local bike shop in Sutton High Street, and luckily they gave me a job, and 5 or 6 years after that all started, managed to get a bit more involved. I sort of realised that just working in a bike shop was not going to last.
Yeah,
it was not a career choice to, you know, just be a mechanic or just work on the shop floor. So got an opportunity to go off and learn more of a skill set for welding and actually building the frames themselves, and pretty quickly turned into a passion. And for the next couple of years after that, I really just worked my nuts off to...
It's called Autumn Frameworks, right?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. So that's my own
Well, you've always been very, very hands-on. Me and Trevor met in high school, but we met towards the end of high school when sort of people were hitting age sort of like 15, sort of finding themselves, understand themselves a bit more better, and without drinking and things, and sort of the next sort of chapter of like growing up. So me and Trevor used to talk about going to Merton. The first time we actually probably hung out outside of school was at Merton Abbey Mills.
Yeah. Fucking hell. That is going back.
We walked up from Warden Hall Park. I met you, Aaron, and Claire.
Claire, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, and went up to... That's back in the day when Merton Abbey Mills used to be a massive market. Used to be able to buy candles and sort of like knickknacks, and we used to go there and do a bit of 5-finger discount.
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah. But it was Trevor that actually got me my first job. Proper job, first full-time job. Trevor left school it was 16 when he finished
straight after year 11, yeah.
And you went straight to work for Scottscape.
Yeah, that was it. No, I didn't go straight to work for Scottscape. No, I left there, so I didn't finish my exams. I missed the last 3 days of whatever fucking exams they were. I didn't go. I think the destiny was preset. I think. Oh no, because I had that accident, didn't I? And I smashed myself up.
Oh, you did, yeah. You had that.
Yeah, I smashed my face to bits. Yeah, on the BMX up at wherever it was, Nonsuch Park, and so I missed the last couple of exams, and it wasn't going to be a deal breaker for me, and I already had the job queued up anyway. But I think the last couple of years of school, I really realised that, you know, I wasn't going to go to sixth form. I was going to go out and work whatever happened. Yeah. So.
Well, you're one of the sort of the rare people that I don't think high school really benefits. It's just you've got a strong head, you work well with your hands, and you're more interested in doing sort of manual things rather than actually sitting there learning bullshit maths and things. I mean, sure, like you learn quickly. So obviously maths is a big element of building frames.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you would have taken the time to learn the ins and outs of that anyway. You've always been very, very good with your hands.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, like, I realise more now. The funny thing about school is that you learn so many things that you don't realise that you've learned until you need to remember that you any fucking sense at
It
all.
does, yeah.
There's so much shit that you're sitting in a classroom and you're like, oh, I'm never going to use this again. This is boring. 10 years down the line, you're like, how do I know how to work out this equation? I was trying to work out the surface area of a cylinder the other day, and I was like, I know the equation, but I have no concept of where it came from, and it can only have been from maths at school teaching me how to use these numbers and get a result from it.
So yeah, I'll track what I said. Like, school obviously did benefit you, but I mean, like, I suppose further education was never going to benefit you.
No.
And I think towards the end of high school, I think from year 8, I was sort of condemned to be a grunger and sort of like was part of sort of the misfit brigades. But it wasn't until like we was 15, 16 where all us misfits started knocking about together. At the same time, sort of bandstand sort of started to form in Sutton. So like for the first time, like, off the estate in school, I felt really sociable, and I think I stayed on at sixth form, really learned. I didn't really give it my all. I think it was just the fact that I got to spend another year or 2 in school hanging out with people, making memories, making friends, and not have to sort of really take life by the balls yet.
Yeah.
So I done my first year of sixth form, failed in a couple of subjects, and I started the second year, and I just realised I didn't want to be there. My granddad was ill, and I thought it would benefit on my family more me fucking stop this bullshit, playing around at school and go to work. And it's Trevor that got me my job at Scotscape, and I'm 30 years old now, and so 12 years later I'm still gardening, I'm still doing this. So I've had a quite fruitful career, all based on that one decision where you give me a leg up and help me get into the industry.
Where did I came to see some sort of media presentation at Greenshaw, didn't I? That's the only time I've ever stepped back into school, even though my mum works there. From the last day of, I didn't go to pick my results up, so whatever that last exam was at school, the only time I've ever set foot back at Greenshaw was that day coming to that media presentation that you did.
Yeah.
And I think, we were chatting, and you were a bit like, I don't know if I want to stick it out, I don't know what to do, kind of want to get out and do my thing, and I said, well, I'll get you an interview, I can't promise you anything more than that. And it was like a couple of weeks later, that was it. Sixth form was over, and you were working
I met, so first, even before the interview, I met the Scotscape lot down the pub, didn't we? Down that, the old BE.
You did.
Yeah. I still remember actually, I was trying to thought then, fuck, it's sixth form then. I still remember, so I left sixth form, and Trevor lined me up in an interview at Scotscape. So I said to my dad, and I was guaranteed the job. I said to my dad, right, I'm not going to school no more. My dad was like, nope, you've got to go to school until that job's secured. But I was like, Dad, my dad didn't understand that. I'd already gone to the teachers and said, I'm done here. They took my name off the register and that. Like, I dropped out of school officially, or sixth form officially. And so even after they offered me the job, I had to like wait 2 weeks to start or something.
Yeah.
For those 2 weeks, my dad forced me to go to school, and like I had no lessons to go to because I wasn't in school.
No.
And like so I'd sit in for 2 weeks. And the thing is, I was a little goody two shoes. I was really scared of my dad growing up, so I wouldn't even bunk off. Like, the thing is, I wouldn't even bunk it off. I didn't go to school.
You had to be there.
So like, I was going to sixth form, sitting in the common room all day, just like drawing on my computer and that, and like doing some Photoshop work. And the teachers would be like, "Steve, why are you here?" I'm like, "My dad's making me come."
Yeah.
Like until I start work.
Yeah.
I still remember one of my favourite stories of yours. You've always been a bit of you've never been a very agreeable person. What I've always loved about you, you've been very headstrong and just like you do what's right for you, but you're still committed to exams because you have to go. But same with me sitting.
I know where this is going.
Same with me sitting in sixth form. You just sit in the exams. I mean, one time you got me into the idea of tattooing because me and you used to both like enjoy drawing tattoos, and you spent the whole of the exam drawing a dagger and rose design on the back of the exam sheet.
Yeah.
And what happened after that?
So I got to the end of the maths exam. I literally hadn't looked at the printed side of the paper. I just saw it as being 5 or 6 sides of blank A4 on the back. So I spent all that time doodling, and then at the end, one of the teachers came round and realised what I'd chosen to do, and asked me to rub it out. And I told him to fuck off. Spent 2 hours doing this shit. I'm taking it with me. Like, I'm not rubbing it out now. I haven't done anything else. There's no exam paper to hand over to you. Like, this is my work for 2 hours.
I still remember one of the days you was off work. It was a Monday, and where we were sort of young and naive, we wasn't aware that most tattoo parlours are closed on Mondays because obviously they're closed Mondays and Sundays.
Yeah.
And me and you got on our bikes and we cycled all the way up to New Morden to Andy Barber's just to see. Was going like things we had no idea how to get an apprenticeship, and was going up there to be like, we like drawing. Can we have an apprenticeship? Just like through caution to the wind, do any research. It's like pre sort of like search engines and that weren't really like as big as they are today. And we went up there just to see shutters, and then I took all the way back to school again.
Yeah,
it was a fun day. We got to chill out in the graveyard, and we tried to find your nan's.
Oh fuck!
Or something like that. I can't remember. We went around the graveyard for a little bit, like little goths, and then. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed growing up with you, and the circle went back around then. Because I remember when me and Trevor were sort of 15 or whatever. It's Jackass was like still at the height of its like career, height of like its visibility in the world, and we used to fucking do stupid shit, and we would go around yours. There's one time that we was around Trevor's house, me, him, and Ben, getting tanked up during the week because I think your mum was away. Yeah. And we ended up just filming silly videos and that. We fried them off, and I ate it.
Oh, that was pretty good. Didn't we fry it in deodorant?
We did fry deodorant.
I think we fried it in deodorant, which seemed like a perfectly logical thing to do.
I made some really bad prank phone calls. It was very obvious that it was me.
Didn't you run around outside my flat like in your pants?
That was naked. I think it's the first time that I ever got naked. So like,
you've got a bit of a thing. You've got form.
The thing is, like, I try not to take myself too seriously, and if it's a situation where I feel vulnerable, I'll run it head on. And the thing is, it's quite common back in those days where guys would get pantsed and things, and and I thought, fuck it, like, I'm gonna be the guy that just gets naked. Like, you can't embarrass me. I've got a fairly average dick. There might be a bit under. I don't know. I don't care. This is what I piss out of, and this is what I used to fuck. Like, I'm not gonna fucking like let you guys get one over me by making me. So from that day, it's snowing as well. Yeah. I ran out in the snow naked and fucking pushed my bum against someone's car window.
That was it. Yeah. No, it's good though, man. Like those early couple of years after leaving school, I think were probably some of my favourites actually. Work wasn't too serious, like no bills to pay. I think I'm only 30, I'm not fucking dead, but you know what I mean? Like they were the days that I look back on where you didn't have to give a shit, there weren't really any worries, like the worry of school was over, and you weren't getting paid much, but you weren't spending anything either. It was all just pocket, you could just spend your money on whatever you wanted.
But even silly things then, like the economy was doing quite good and petrol was really fucking low. Yeah. So it just meant like with my little Nissan Micra, my first car, it was £25 to fill the tank up. Yeah. So I mean, me and you had like in hindsight we didn't get paid too well at Scotsgate, but we always had enough to sort of throw money in the car and just go for a nice drive to Box Hill or go away for a weekend somewhere, or just do something by the time we have to just fester in Sutton or fester around here.
We drove down to your brother's when he was working in
Devon.
Down in Teignmouth,
yeah.
So we drove down there a couple of times, and we were always out in the car. Like we were, I think it was good though, because like, although we finished school together and then we worked together, like it was still that time where it was cool to like fucking hang out. Yeah. I think now the idea of like working with somebody and then hanging out with them in the evenings would drive me nuts. Yeah. But I remember that as being like,
we're supposed to live in it.
There was a few of us that we worked together, and then there was another group of people that were kind of part of it. But that was it was a good time.
We still lived at home as well, so it was nice to have that bit of freedom where we could just jump in the car and escape for a bit. I mean, we used to quite regularly just jump in the car and go park at BP and get a coffee. Yeah. Just have a little. I think we take most people nowadays take people for granted because we use, for example, two of my brothers live in foreign countries. I chat to them every day on WhatsApp, and we're so used to sort of texting and communicating through technology that we sort of do take for granted that sometimes you do need to see each other face to face and actually like catch up, talk. You need more substance, like actually in the conversation, actually like making. That's what I'm doing a podcast. I can actually make the effort to take time for myself to sit down with people that I care about and actually have a catch up, and let them know that I'm still involved in their life and see they're still involved in mine. Yeah. And again, it's just not over a phone; it's face to face. Like it's something nice about that.
Yeah. But it's different though, isn't it? Because I mean, there's some people that I used to be friends with that wouldn't occur to me to go and
of course, yeah.
Sit and have a coffee with or whatever. But there are some people where you don't have to see them for a year or be on the phone with them or WhatsApp them every day to kind of stay in touch to still be like if the phone rang tomorrow or we're here today, we're gonna have a chat, we're on the podcast. If I don't hear from you from 6 months and the phone rings, there's no way I'm going to look at that phone and go, he
yeah.
probably fucking wants something, or he ain't spoken to me for 6 months, I'm not going to answer it, or I'll text him back another day. Like, if the phone rings, the phone gets answered, and if it's you on the end of it going, shit's at the fan, I need a fucking hand. Like, there are some people that just stick, you don't have to, like...
You don't have to...
You just get where other people are at.
I think, and that's like... This is why I'm so fortunate to have people like you in my life, and friends like you that just... There's a genuine love and connection there, and it is sincere, and that, you know, you're on my mind. I do think of you, and I do reminisce, you know, about the past, and sort of like have a bit of nostalgia in my own head. But also, you're mature enough to know that real life sucks, and not that it sucks, but it just takes a lot of time. And like, especially as we're older, you know, we're trying to sort of settle down and, you know, be committed boyfriends and whatnot. I mean, like, at the moment where I'm working so relentlessly, I mean, I only get a 2-hour window after I'm going from work to spend with Rosie, but in that 2 hours I've got to have dinner, you know, have a bath and that, and try to catch up. Like, at the moment, Sundays is normally mine and Rosie's day, but now because of podcast stuff, and like, she's been very understanding that, you know, doing things like this, you know, but it's just having the balance of doing things that are meaningful to you, but also trying to take the time to, you know, just let other people know that you're still there and that.
But you can cut out a lot of the bullshit, can't you? By just, of course, you've got to, you know, one thing I think I found years ago now was just, as you kind of already said, you know, do things that you want to do. Like, don't get caught doing shit because it's the done thing or because everybody else is doing it. Like, if you want to do that, then that's cool. But you should be, you know, we're old enough now where we should be doing the things that we want to do. Or you can't be everyone's mate, and you can't still be friends now with everyone that you've ever been friends with. Like, sometimes you've just got to knuckle down and just get on with shit. There's
a few people that I've cut out, that's it, just toxic people. But a few people that I sort of, not necessarily keep at arm's length, it's just people I do check in with every now and then. But there are people like, you know, I've been very fortunate with this podcast so far. So I had my friend Lewis Byrne on, I grew up with Duran, I've had Danny Grant on, and I've got you. And it's just, these are three perfect examples of people that I might see for 6 months to a year at a time. But every time I see it, it's just, there's no bullshit small talk. It's real, like, just, I want to look you in the eye and be like, how are you? Like, as I've got older, I've got no tolerance for small talk. I've got no tolerance for, like, just, I hate where I've got to go somewhere and just be like, and pretend that I care. You know, I'd much rather sit down and talk to an individual about their ideas and get deep into it. Just actually have a conversation full of substance, and not just fucking just sit there and talk about the weather and shit.
Fluff. Yeah, it's just fluff. It's conversation for the sake of having conversation.
I mean,
where were we? We sidetracked. Scottscape was like the next, because we went to school together and we ended up working together, and like, obviously the last couple of years, well, more than the last couple of years in fairness, like, it's been a long time since that tight group that we were both a part of, I guess. I mean, when would that have been? Where we were both part of, like, the same fucking...
That was still early 20s. That was like still knocking about with... that was like... because I was living in Cavendish when I was 19, I believe. So I think things would have started, like, we had a massive circle of friends. I was quite fortunate to not only have my friends on my estate, but I had friends at school like you, and people like you introduced me to other people from other schools, and also by living on the council estate, I got to meet my mates groups of mates from their school. So I was quite, I had a big social group. You know, I was quite well known in the area. I got sort of the benefit of, you know, seeing and speaking to a lot of people. But as I started going through my late teens, I thought it'd be a good idea to bring all these groups together, and that was kind of to the detriment of, like, to me and to other people, when it got a bit intense in the end, where we had too many groups of people, too many sort of alpha male types or wannabe types, and just things we kind of lost what made it work, and that's the fact that I had these friends that I got on with individually, and then it's just
they didn't get on with each other.
But I think things started to sort of separate it off. I think properly from the age of like 20 to 25, it just things started to fizzle out. But for the better now. Like, I still speak to Ben, and I still speak to Max and other people and that. But it's just I just do what's right for me now. I don't care about the social side of things no more. I've got my best mates like Greg and that I speak to on a daily basis, and it's just like I've stopped. I went through like a really sort of strange time. I think it's taken most of my 20s for me to realise that I'm quite a vulnerable person, in the sense that, like, I hated my own company. I I had the illusion that I had to be social all the time. And I had to have people around me all the time. And that kind of like probably helped put fuel in the fire, you know, bringing all these people together. Whereas now I just appreciate doing what's right for me, trying to put myself into this world as a man, be a fucking man, get on with my fucking shit. And just appreciate that I have people like you in my life that I can just sit down and talk to and just appreciate and not take you for granted, you know?
Yeah. I think those big groups are all right. I think when you're at school, you naturally have big groups because you're slung together in a big group, right? You're in a class of 25 people. You're supposed to be everybody's friend, and then you've got all the other classes and houses and other year groups and whatever else. But I think you definitely realise, like, or I did anyway, late teens, early 20s, that you just can't. I can't imagine how you keep a group of like 30 mates together.
Yeah,
it's just, and it's a shame because there's people that like, I don't know, collateral damage is probably the wrong word, but there are people that like I would love to spend more time with now, but I've kind of missed it. Like they're now off doing their own shit, or you know, it just, people just grow up.
Well, people just thought. The thing is, it's just knowing to let things run their course and be like, do you know, I appreciate the time we had together. You know, maybe our paths might cross in the future and it might be fine, but for now, you do you, I'll do me, and just let's just try to be decent, fair people.
Yeah.
So what was I say to you? Now, on the podcast with Lewis, because we grew up in Durand close together, we spoke quite heavily about Durand and estate life. You're a working class lad yourself, and you grew up in a council house.
Yeah.
But you was in a different situation where, like, you was in a council block, and there's blocks of flats similar to yours, but it wasn't an estate. You had Ben Hill Estate next to yours.
Yeah.
But so because you wasn't on an estate like I was, you had a very different, I suppose, community sense and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, how did you? So talk to me a little bit about your sort of life growing up around that area and your sort of thoughts about, you know, the good and the bad.
Oh, it's weird, man. I mean, it's definitely. I watched the Lewis podcast today actually, and it was kind of funny because I got glimpses of that by knowing you and other people that lived on your estate and your brothers and other people and coming round and seeing that, but I'd not really had any huge experience on kind of council estate stuff more than that. But mine was probably the opposite of a lot of the stuff that you described. Ours was just like 2 blocks, so we're set back from like the main road, and then behind us there's a little road that runs around, and there's another like identical block. And there's 12 flats in my block, and there's an identical 12 behind that. Nobody really knows anyone. Like, there was lots of people coming and going, but because there weren't that many people in the first place, we never interacted with the block behind us.
Yeah.
There was no like fucking divide. There was no like don't cross the road. We just didn't. You know, I grew up, I guess, primary school. Like our next door neighbour, like we were on the ground floor. So if you went straight out of our front door and into the next front door, there was a family with a kid who was Stefan his name was, he was the year below us in primary school. So we knew him, and the girls, Bonnie and Roxanne, they're upstairs, and you would know them, they went to Greenshaw.
Yeah.
But they were a couple of years above us. So
I do remember them, actually, I do remember them now,
there. But other than that, everyone's kind of changed.
Well, I think the difference is with your block as well. Like, there's no real community. Like, I mean, even the 2 lawns outside yours are on raised lawns, you know, and they're on a slant as well. You can't really sit there at barbecue or whatnot.
Yeah.
And I think the benefit of being on Durand is we actually was in an enclosed space. We had our walls, had our borders, and it was just us.
Yeah.
Whereas you've got like quite a busy road in front of you. You've got like main roads going through your whole estate, and also you had Ben Hill Estate next to you. So
yeah.
I mean, you had they probably had a bit of a sense of what I said on the podcast with Lewis.
Yeah.
But I think so being so close to Ben Hill and not living on it, I think we'd had a different experience. Like, I think you would have been the kind of person to sort of hear the bad side of estate life by living next door to one.
Yeah.
And I always grew up believing that Ben Hill was quite rough, but I think everyone says that their local estates are quite rough.
Yeah. I never had any. I don't think I ever had a single thing happen to me on Ben Hill.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't until I got mid-teens, like mid-high school kind of time, where I think you start becoming more aware, not just of the bad stuff on council estates, but that naivety of being a child wears off, and you start becoming more aware of shit that happens in the world, right? Your mum and dad aren't out to, you know, hold your hand and protect you anymore. You're out on your own, and you start seeing things differently, and that, I think, was probably when the kind of perception of the the local council estate was a bit like, I'll go round it rather than through it.
Exactly.
Up until the age of 12, you're kind of like, I don't give a shit, I'm 12.
Yeah.
I'll just walk through it. Nobody's going to fucking touch me, I'm a kid.
Yeah.
Then you start to be out with your friends more and less out with your parents, and I think you start to see other things, and you start picking places that you're going to avoid. I mean, and again now, like, I'm 30 now, and I fucking walk through it, like, I don't give a shit. Like, nothing. There's no horror stories from the Ben Hill estate that I can recall. Like, shit happens, the same as on any other council estate or any other fucking housing estate.
Yeah.
But
there's always going to be shitty people wherever you go in life.
Yeah, and I think that perception wasn't ever forced on me by society of don't trust people on council estates. It was more just the case that I'd become aware that that's where certain people might be. So just be wary of being there, I guess.
Yeah, just be more self-aware.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, nothing. I mean, there's plenty worse estates around.
Well, thing is, like, for example, like I tell you, so me and Trevor, so back in the Croydon days, we used to hang about and knock about. Before the Black Sheep opened, there's the Harp, and the Harp was a dingy bar in West. Is it West Croydon?
Yes, that's Southwest Croydon.
Yeah. And it's a pub like in the middle of like a housing estate. There's one particular. It's around New Year's.
Yeah.
We went there. Me, you, Max, Greg, and had a very good night. I wasn't drinking. Obviously, I was driving. So on the way to the car to sort of take everyone back home, there was two pikeys fucking sitting on the roadside.
Yeah.
Decided to pick a fight with us, and one of them had a corner of a paving slab and threw it through my fucking back window, hitting Greg in the back of the head like it's crazy. So it's the first time being friends with you where we had to fucking go, proper sort of get involved with stuff. And
yeah.
I still remember now because you was inside when it happened.
No, I was outside waiting for someone or something, and I heard the glass smash, and I think initially I just thought it was a bottle or somebody drunk fucking dropped something or what, didn't think of anything of it. Then you start hearing shouting, and because we drove there, I was like, no, we didn't drive there, but for whatever reason I knew where your car was, and I was like, fucking hell, that's coming from there. And then you start seeing people running over, and you're like, why are all the people that I know there? What the fuck's going on? And then it sort of like realised, and it was chaos, man. I think it's probably the most chaotic thing that I've ever been involved with it like that.
Yeah, and I think it's the first time. I thought it's the first time I saw. It's like there's a difference between people that talk the talk and people that actually sort of act in a situation. I've grown up with so many people that live their life in grandeur and think they're fucking these big alpha male hard men because they're fucking council or not. But when push comes to shove, they fucking wet themselves. And this time, the situation is two guys, so Trevor's ultimately outnumbered. I'm trying to fucking get people out of my car because the guys coming over and started smashing Max's ribs in. Max was in the passenger side door. So it just was chaotic. And as the guys got taken away by the bouncers, you fucking went at two guys, and the bouncers were holding you back. You was outnumbered.
Well, it was Max that sort of sent me in the right direction. I got to the car and sort of grabbed Max. What the fuck is going on? And he went, those two over there. They just threw a brick through the fucking car. And I was like, all right, well, they're fucking walking off. Like, they can't go anywhere. Just fucking chased after them.
Then once the police come and that's fucking dealt with the situation.
We ended up in the back of the van, didn't we?
Yeah, we had to fucking get the police van and point the guys out. Then a really weird situation happened. So now my back window's smashed in. There's glass everywhere. I can't take people back home now because they'd be sitting on glass. So Trevor decided to jump in the passenger side and come back with me. And we got fucking chased on the way home.
Yeah, man, fuck.
We got chased on the way home. And we can't in confidence say, it's just so bizarre. It's the most chaotic night I've ever fucking had in my life because we're definitely getting chased.
Yeah.
There's upper arse lights flashing, and we can't even say whether there was to do with anyone or not. Like it just, cause it happened.
They picked us up from the Croydon flyover because we had to kind of do like a funny loop. We came out of the Harp onto the main road, and then up onto the flyover that goes down to like Five Ways.
That's it.
And from that flyover section, they were just there. Like there was no fucking way they weren't following us because they followed us all the way back through to like past Hackridge.
Because what happened was we went down where Pets of Home is, went down that long old fucking road towards Wallerton, turned the right to go down towards the goat and that, and then I had to fucking throw a sharp left. It was that left by the pond. Fucking near to lose them. It's like. It's the most energizing bit. Like I was
shaking.
Yeah,
I was terrified.
And for the worst bit is we finally got to my parents' house. Was you with me then?
I went to yours.
And then the top called the police, and they was like, "Oh yeah, you have to come
to give a statement."
Yeah, give a statement back in Croydon. So I had to fucking drive back to Croydon again to fucking give a statement.
Didn't your mum and dad drive us though?
I think my dad drove us.
We left the car, didn't we?
Yeah.
We both got in your dad's car. Yeah, that was chaos, man. It was fucking chaos. But it shows you. Did I tell you about? So Katie and her group of friends, my current girlfriend now at the age of fucking 30, were there on that night.
Yeah, I know. You mentioned it
Like
briefly.
such
there.
a small fucking world.
Yeah.
Like there's been other people that I've met that I've never fucking known, and they've been like, oh yeah, that thing that happened at the Harp, and I'm like, yeah, we were there. Were you there? And they're like, yeah, we were fucking there. We remember it. It's bonkers.
Yeah.
So many people were there.
It's fucking. But I think I'm quite fortunate in saying that like, my life's not been as chaotic since. But that definitely left a taste in my mouth. Fucking like I think I was very self-aware after that, and I think like I never like same thing with me getting naked and that. Like it's just I don't like feeling scared, and so like often like it sounds stupid, but like I used to play a game with myself like. If I was scared to go down the alley, I wouldn't go the long way. I'm going through. If I get jumped and mugged or whatever, I'm going through. I'm not fucking around with being scared at life. I may be skinny. I may be small. I may not like be able to handle myself. But I'm not. I refuse to pander to fear. It's just like I'm going to keep going through this way.
You mean like when you drop your pants in Romania?
Yeah. Like, oh shit. Yeah. Like I'm dropping pants in Romania.
You like that situation?
Ah.
Because that was back in. We were working at Scottscape.
Yeah.
Weren't we? And it was your brother's, John's birthday.
It was John's 18th.
Yeah.
So we were 17.
And you said, I'm going to Romania. Oh, no, I think this is before you started working.
It would have been
there.
before Scottscape.
I got the time off. And you said, look, do you want to come with me? So off we fucking went. How long were we there for? Like
just
3-4 days?
It's a long weekend.
3 days, I think.
Yeah.
Man, that was an experience.
Bucharest.
Yeah.
But we stayed it's about 10 miles out from Bucharest. About 5 miles
it was
out.
in Bucharest centre.
We went to Bucharest airport, but you're right.
It was Bucharest.
It was Bucharest.
Yeah, 100%.
That was a really cool weekend, actually. So my brother John used to do film work and stunt work, and he was part of a film called Blood and Chocolate, and he played a werewolf in that. Originally, he was part of the stunt cast. So for his 80th birthday, flew out there with Trevor to go see him, give him some gifts from the family and that, and see how he's doing. And he had quite a bit of money behind him then, so originally we were staying in his hotel room, but little did we know, John had bought us a hotel room, and we were staying in the Hilton Hotel, and everything was so cheap over there. So I think it was the first night out, John took us to a titty bar, and it was just like, so we're 17 years old, like fucking in Romania, a foreign country, we're now at a titty bar, fucking drinking like champagne and fucking beer and whatnot, getting nicely tanked up. Anyway, we're walking back to the hotel, and I pulled my pants down and like run across the road like, and there's a cab driver, and I go in the front of the cab and run and jump over a fence in the park, but it wasn't a cab driver, it was a police car, and John's like, Steve, it's a fucking police. I hide. Then John and Trevor negotiate with the police to try and keep them like busy. I sneak back into the hotel. But they got the whole time there's a gun drawn on me. I didn't realise they had a fucking gun drawn on me at all.
They both had their guns drawn. One of them was just fucking chasing you, and the other was just pointing at me and John.
It's fucking insane.
Hell, man.
And then a Scooby-Doo moment happened. So I ran to the hotel, jumped in the lift to go to John's room. But then Trevor and John went to the hotel room, into another lift, and went up to mine and Trevor's room. But then I went down to the bar to see if I was there, and for about 10 minutes everyone's like, until eventually
we'd split up. Me and John had gone our own different ways to try and find you,
and then eventually I get dragged into the lift. It's John, for fuck's sake. Went up to our room, and John was like, right Steve, because I was wearing white boxes, like, right Steve, get rid of your white boxes. And I was like, I only have white boxes, because like it's one of those like Christmas packs, just fucking all these white boxes. So I took them off and threw them out the window, and then just walk around and fucking. But I spent the night on the wearing my Hilton hotel robe, fucking on the floor, puking up into the toilet.
Yeah, it was grim. Fucking hell, I definitely thought we were getting shot.
Oh, it was a good fucking time though, man.
It was good.
I completely forgot about that, man. Like being,
it was a weird weekend, wasn't it?
It was really weird, but it was fun though, man. Like it's really cool to experience it. I mean, Romania was one of the most beautiful countries I've ever been to. Not because of the way that it looked, it's just the way the people were. Where we stayed in Bucharest, it hadn't really recovered from the civil war. There's bullet holes everywhere. There's gypsy kids walking around everywhere. And after the civil war, they couldn't afford to keep their dogs, look after their dogs, because they could barely feed their kids. So everyone let their dogs free. So there's the most beautiful dogs you ever see, because you can't tell the breed. It's just all these dogs of int, and it's just wild dogs just walking around Romania. And all the homeless people we saw out there were legit war vets, legs missing and things and that. They're really sort of humbled us as like British boys, not really seen much of the world, to be like, right, fuck, we've got it pretty cushy in the UK, you know. And how comes that there's so much hate over in the UK when these people have got next to nothing and they're still smiling and like still being decent people?
Yeah, but you say that though about it not being. I mean, the trip in on, because John picked us up in a cab, didn't he? And we got the cab ride from the airport was like 20 minutes in the car or whatever, and it was like there was lots of. I think there was like an industrial revolution before the Civil War. There was this massive boom in like buildings, but none of them got finished.
Yeah, none got finished.
Do you remember on the motorway going into Bucharest? There's just these like half-done steel structures. But do you remember that we went out for dinner one night on this like lake?
Yes, we did. Yeah,
and that was fucking. That was epic, man. It was a beautiful place. But then you go to the other side of town, and it's exactly what you just described. People sleeping rough, dogs and cats, and kids begging, and crazy. But then we went to that club, and there was all the bullet holes in the window. Like it's the only time I've ever been somewhere that, even in recent memory, had been at war.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's absolutely insane, but brilliant. I think it, especially at age of 17, it sort of really helped sort of give me a bit of a reality check on fucking life. You know
what? Yeah.
And
definitely.
I fucking had a really good time, man. We it was such a random sort of. We've had a pretty decent life, me and you, but I think it's through the chaos with United, because it's just a lot of shit. It's just we've tried to be yes men as much as we can, but tried to sort of.
Well, I haven't.
I have.
Yourself.
But you've always jumped on board. Like again, we're going to Devon and things. You've always been by my side. Like and you've always thrown 100% support in everything I've ever tried to do or tried to achieve.
Yeah. Well, it's not always easy. Like sometimes people do things that maybe you don't think are right, or sometimes you just can't help. Like I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, and I was just like, it's all, words are only one thing. There's no good constantly texting or calling somebody and being like, "Oh, I'll be there to help you if you need it." If you're already too busy to actually fucking help somebody, just texting them support is not going to help them.
No.
And I think the last like more than a few years, I have just been trying to look after myself. Like selfish as that sounds, like there'll be plenty of people that'll be like, "Well, that's fucking out of order," but I think life ain't gonna. I'm not gonna be here forever. Like I've got shit that I actually want to do.
Well, I think by being selfish, it makes you selfless, because everyone's gonna benefit from you being more well-rounded. Everyone's gonna benefit from you being more fulfilled. Everyone's gonna benefit from you doing things that are more meaningful for you.
Yeah.
The whole, you're gonna. Yes, you obviously got to divide your time up with people that you care about, like obviously your girlfriend and whatnot. But I think overall, people should be more selfish and try to work out what it is. They haven't got to be ruthless. Be selfish, but not ruthless.
Yeah.
Work out what it is you want to do. And just give it a go. You're bound to fail, but just learn and keep pushing. And once you feel more fulfilled, you feel more tolerant, more confident. Just everyone in your life's going to benefit from that.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing for me at the moment is trying to get, starting up your own business is freaking hard. Like I've never tried to do anything like what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And I've been working 7 days a week for a long time now.
Yeah.
I think up until my birthday weekend a couple of weeks ago, or last week, like the last day off I had was for a bike show, which wasn't really a day off, and then before that was New Year's Day this year. So I've had 4 or 5 days off since New Year's Day, including New Year's Day. But that's what it takes. But the whole, the starting and the building of the business is a means to an end. Like I know 100% I don't want to work 7 days a week.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to do that. The whole point is if I put in the work now, sooner or later there will become a time where I don't have to keep doing up a workshop. I don't have to do, at the moment I'm working 2 other jobs other than frame building to pay for frame building.
But also don't forget, like also the struggle helps you become not complacent. It helps you actually give like it's fun, the balance of being busy and fucking looking after yourself. Like at the moment, I'm definitely killing myself. Like I'm more or less working 7 days a week at the moment. Maybe not be as long as like I'll frame it this way. Yeah? So I leave my house at 6 in the morning, start work at 7, finish at 2 p.m. Then I've got a private circuit till about 8 at night. Then pick Rose up from work if she's not left already. Come back home, put the hot water in for an hour, so have a bath. Catch up with her, have some food, and that, and go to bed, and then start again. And Saturdays I'm doing my tattooing apprenticeship. Sundays I'm now doing more private work, private gardening work, and I'm just trying to find time to do podcasting, because I think this stuff here is keeping me more grounded, and I know me working this hard, it's not going to be forever. Once I'm tattooing as a qualified tattoo artist, I mean, that's now the next chapter of me to start working hard there.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I need to have the second income coming in from my private work. I need to have the podcast to keep my mental well-being busy and give me something to look forward to.
Yeah.
And tattoo apprenticeship is a means to an end. So it's just I've got to do this now while the work's there. And not bitch and moan about it, just fucking get on with it and turn it into something positive.
No, but the thing is though, like, it's so much easier. Like, I'm really lucky with Katie, and I think you're probably really lucky with Rosie in the sense that
I definitely am.
You know, it's not like Rosie's in from 4 o'clock in the afternoon, scratching her ass and watching telly and with nothing to do. You know, you're working hard, she's working hard, and it's much easier when you've got that opportunity where you can say, you know what, I'm just staying late tonight, I've got shit to do, and your other half goes, fine, I'll still be here when you get home. But it's not always like that. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone is that understanding. So if you're in a relationship, although it's difficult because, you know, you do only get 2 hours of an evening. When you do take a holiday, or you do get a fucking weekend off, or you do just go and sit in the pub and buy her dinner, it's so much more valuable. When you do that every once a week or whatever, and you are just sitting around watching telly every night, it doesn't mean as much.
No,
like I find the time that you get to have with people when you don't have a lot of time means a lot more.
Yeah. That's why I'm very grateful for Rosie right now. Like, obviously, you've come in for a catch up, but I've sort of asked you about doing a podcast. You've agreed to it. It's just that's now like another hour. She's got to be out the living room, doing everything in the bedroom.
Yeah, but the difference is that she gets it.
Yeah, exactly. She's very supportive. It's not going to be a bitter thing where it's like, oh, you're taking up too much living space.
Yeah. No, it's so much easier to be like that when you've got somebody that will say, you know what, you do what you've got to do. Like, we'll figure the rest out at another time. Like, there will be more time.
Yeah.
And as you've already said, you know, with your tattooing apprenticeship, when things settle down, it won't be so chaotic, you know. And you will have time. And if you're both working the traditional, you know, what is it, Tuesday through Saturday, you're going to have weekends together.
Yeah,
that is the target, right?
Yeah, although the target is to actually be able to sort of not be so stressed out. Because the thing is, with my graphic design stuff and that, I go hand in hand with my tattooing. You know, I'll be able to find time during the day and that to sort of. I think I will miss using my hands, like in the sense of grafting.
Yeah.
But I think the idea, because I'm an early bird. I've been getting up at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning for the last 12 years.
Yeah.
It'd be, for me, I look the prospect of starting at 10 a.m, which means I can get up at 7, go to the gym for an hour, have a coffee and that, do my emails, and then get to work for 10. I think the prospects of actually being able to manage my morning where it's more enjoyable, and then have a hard working day, and then draw in the evening. I think the idea of that kind of routine where it's still flexible for me to be able to be the best I can be is it's what's keeping me going right now.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I'm the most happiest I've been in years. I'm not even complaining. People, my gardening circuit has blown up. People appreciate what I'm doing, and I'm getting quite addicted to the fact that I'm working quite a lot. I may be tired, I may be exhausted, and even like right now, like I'm really fucking drained.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I haven't got time to be depressed.
No.
When in the winter, when I'm sitting there fucking having a 4-pack to myself fucking in the evening because there's nothing else to fucking do, it stops because I'm so. I won't do drawing, I won't do anything meaningful because I'm so used to having that free time. I don't use it properly. Now, if I do have any free time, I'm doing housework, I'm doing this, I'm keeping myself in check. And I'm actually really appreciating actually being on my feet all the time, you know?
You get more used to it. I mean, I did some pretty long weeks when I was working for Rockstar, and then going back into the bike trade was much more of it was quite refreshing actually to go back in and just do, I can't remember what day. I think I did like Monday through Saturday. I had Thursday off or something. Just a 5 days a week, no real responsibility, and it was kind of cool for a while. But I really longed for more than that.
Yeah.
And then when I moved from one bike shop to the next, I got more responsibility. I started looking after more shops, more staff, and you're not doing 6 days a week. And then you start finding something else. But you don't get better at working 7 days a week. Like, no. It is hard.
It is.
But you get better at appreciating the time that you have on those evenings or whatever, where you do come home from work early, or you do take a Sunday off, and you go, actually, you know what? Fuck it. This week I'm not working 7 days. I'm going to take Sunday off. We're going to go out for the day. The weather's going to be nice, and all of a sudden that Sunday is more valuable than 20 Sundays would have been 5 years ago.
Yeah, just binge watching
that
shit.
One day being able to do that
Yeah.
is so much more important to you because you've worked your arse off to get that one day off.
Yes, you appreciate the full gravity of the situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, let's finish on that note then. So guys, fucking work your arse off, work harder. So Trevor,